Hello, hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to be jumping into Oblivion Remastered and going over the leveling system and what birth sign is best for you. And the reason we're going over the leveling system with the birth sign is because they're connected, and it kind of makes a difference on what kind of signs you're going to take. Alright, so in order to level in the game, of course, you have to find a bed and sleep in the bed. So if we wanted to rest, for instance, like if we just waited 1 hour, alright, as you can see, we didn't get to level up. So we have to lay in the bed. This can get costly, right? And for each level, you have to lay in the bed. You can't just get all your, I don't think you get all your levels at once. So, yeah. So here we go. So we'll sleep for 1 hour since we rented this bed. And now we can level. All right. And then as you can see here, we have 12 virtues to use. So we can assign 12 virtues to any of our stats. Strength, intelligence, willpower, agility, speed, endurance, personality, and luck. All right. Now, here's where it becomes a little tricky. Each one you put in is 1 point, right? So we can go 1 point. But if we do luck, it costs us 4 points, right? And if you notice, you can only level up luck once per level. All right, this is super important to understand this. All right, if you want to max luck, okay, max in this game is 100 in any stat. So if you want to max luck, you're going to have to put a point in it every level, because if you're really going to level up every single skill you have, you can potentially reach level 80 if you can get every skill to 100, and then that'll let you come into your attributes, and you'd have 12 times 80 points to use. But that's really pushing it, right? So we're looking at maybe level 40, level 50 by the time we beat the game, probably. Unless we're really just pushing stats like mad. Okay, so as you can see, right now I would need to put 40 levels into luck to hit level 100 on luck. Another trick with the leveling system is this. I can only put 5 points into one stat per level. Right, so this goes along with training. You can only train your stats 5 times per level. So if you find a trainer, you can pay a trainer to level you up 5 times in something. All right, so we can pick, so as you can see, we can pick 3 attributes to level up every time. So you can quickly get your main attributes that are however you fight. If you're a strength user, spellcaster, or a thief, or however you play, you can quickly get your points all the way up. If you play the old Oblivion, endurance used to not apply retroactively. So if I chose not to put any points in endurance until level 30, and then I started putting points into it, I would only gain extra hit points after level 30. So all of my levels before level 30, I wouldn't get those hit points. All right, so you'd want to put your points in endurance at every level. That's not how it works anymore. It retroactively applies, so that's nice. So you can skip endurance at first if you need to min-max your combat abilities. So for instance, if you're finding that you're running out of fatigue, you may want to up your willpower more. If you find you're running out of hit points faster, then you may want to up your endurance more. All right, so as you can see, most stats other than luck are going to be able to reach level 100 pretty easily, especially the ones you're focusing in for your class. Okay, and so if I had accumulated more levels, as you can see, I can still use this bed that I've rented because I didn't sleep through the full rental period. So sleeping 1 hour at a time is a way to be able to continue using the bed and to keep leveling up. So make sure you just sleep 1 hour at a time when leveling. And then, of course, if you need to skip time, you can sleep or wait longer than that. But this way, you don't have to continually re-rent a bed if you don't have a free bed somewhere. Alright, so real quick before we get into the signs, I wanted to show y'all a neat little trick you can do right at the beginning. Since that guy over there is in the jail cell next to you, right at the beginning, you can just walk into a wall. And I know it doesn't look like I'm walking, but I am. And my stealth skill should build up. This should be the easiest place in the game to build your stealth skill. If this doesn't work, there's a place farther along. Also, I put in a short, but I'll go ahead and show again here as well. But it just takes a little while. So if you have a auto clicker or something that can push forward for you, or you can just, like, you have a controller, you can just have something hold it forward, set it upside down, put something heavy on it. That's what I used to do. Yeah, for the original Oblivion. So yeah, if you wanted to build your sneak all the way to 100 and just kind of walk away, go to sleep or whatever, and come back and have a 100 level sneak. You have to be kind of somewhat close to the guy. There is a distance limit on how far away somebody can be before your sneak skill will build up. Yeah, okay, so my sneak is increasing there. It's level 17. Right, and you can also build your sneak skill pretty much like that anywhere in the game that there's somebody that won't be aggressive against you, or that doesn't know you're there, like you're in a dungeon or something at the beginning, and an enemy doesn't see you. And there's one more place right at the beginning that's really good, and I'll show it to you in just a moment. So if you missed the beginning jail cell and you want to max out your sneak skill, you can do it here, right? See where these 3 skulls are, and you go through this door. All right, once through the door, make sure to unequip any heavy armor and go into the sneak. You'll come down to this corner, it'll give you a tutorial on how to sneak. It'll show you the goblin there. Just let the goblin get to where he's going. He's just going to go right around the corner there and stand this back to you facing the chest. The devs put this in the game as a way to kind of teach you how to use stealth and sneak up and get sneak attack damage. But you can take full advantage of it, and you just walk into this wall right here like this. Alright, yeah, let's find a cove. Here we go, right here. See where this cove is here? It traps me on both ends so my character won't walk out of place. I just sit there and hold forward, and you can build your sneak skill all the way to level 100, just like this. So, yeah. And you can do this in many places in the game. This is just the second place you can do this. It makes it super easy because your enemies aren't going to move around. Alright, so right away at the beginning of the game, you have to choose a birth sign, right? As you're going through, you may not even know what style of character you want to play yet if you're new to the game. So which ones are actually good and which ones aren't so good? So remember, we went over the leveling to show you earlier, so that we can go over this real quick. So like endurance and strength, those are attributes, right? 10 points in each. Well, so in 2 levels, if I was to put 5 points in endurance and 5 points in strength each level, I'd have 10 in each of them. So while this would give you a tiny advantage into use for a few levels, you'll quickly run out of points in endurance and strength to use, and then maybe that could allow you to put more points in something else. But remember what we said before, luck takes 4 points per level. Okay, and so we'll go over luck in just a minute to explain why that's important. All right, if you're going to be a spellcaster class, you can choose a birth sign that fortifies your magicka, but your magicka is fortified by upping your intelligence. All right, so you can get magicka points by upping your intelligence as well. So this might be a wash. I wouldn't take them. Honestly, the only birth signs I would take if I was trying to min-max a character or do really well is ones that give you luck points. For the reason we said before, luck cost 4 points per level. And pretty much the only sign that does that is the thief. The good news is the thief gives you agility and luck and speed. So you'll be able to move a little bit faster. Your bows will be a little bit better. And yeah, your luck will be up by 10. So that's 10 points. All right, that saves you 40 points when leveling, if you're going to be leveling luck. Now, if you're not going to touch luck, you don't care about luck, then really, this is an RPG. Roleplay your character. What would your character's birth sign be? All right. Each of these is just a little bit something for you that will mostly be a wash after you hit like level 10 or 15. So it's not really important. The speed is probably the next best one, increasing your movement speed, especially if you're going to be using a bow a lot because you want to be able to get away from your enemies and keep your distance. Now, if you're just going to be a straight up slaughter warrior, you know, the warrior is fine. Now, another one that might be really good to take is it would be the Lord, right? You get an increased armor rating by 15, so your armor rating goes up by 15, period. So if you're a light armor user, this could be good, and you resist 15% magic. All right, so you take less damage for magic. So you're going to hit a lot of magic in this game. So this is a really good one to take as well, especially if you're not worried about luck. These other birth signs like the Tower and the Lover that give you something you can use once per day, not great. You have to rest, you have to sleep for 24 hours before you can use it again. And they don't really do anything amazing. And kind of like the Serpent, these runes aren't really ones to take. So I recommend, again, the Thief, the Lord, and the Steed. Anything else is really just preference. It's up to you. But I wouldn't bother with them. And then if I was a spellcaster, taking the Atronach probably wouldn't be great, but if I was a paladin or a cleric, where I'm going to be casting a few spells here and there, but not often, and I'm going to be getting hit by a lot of spells, this might be good too, because you have a 50% chance of just absorbing the spells, which will increase your magicka, right? Regenerate your magicka. But your magic won't regenerate on its own. So if you're relying on magic to regenerate, this is not a great one to take. Yes, you do get 150 magicka points, so you can cast a few more spells before you run out, but it's not great. Simply put, you can't regain mana without getting hit by spells, and you, as a spellcaster, you're probably not having a lot of hit points early game either. All right, another thing to be aware of when you're picking your sign, it starts out as the apprentice. All right, see how it has the golden background behind it? That means it's selected. So if you hit continue, it's going to continue as the apprentice, even if you have hovered over something else. So make sure to select. If you're using a controller, it's A. And of course, if you're using a mouse and keyboard, it's just clicking on it with the mouse. Okay. And then hit continue. And make sure you don't just hit yes. Make sure it is the one you want to take. So I'm taking the thief. So then yes, okay. Because you can't undo this. There's no respecking currently that we know of. Okay, and if you're new to Oblivion, we have attributes, and then we have skills. We'll have minor and major skills when we pick our class here in a little bit. We'll get some major skills. Right now, everything's minor. So when you get major skills, what that means is those skills will level up faster and give you more XP than the minor skills will. So minor skills will level up slower and give you less XP towards your next level. So in Oblivion, you only level up by building up skills. Okay, so if you just want to stand in one place and jump, you can level up that way. I don't recommend it necessarily until you're strong enough to take stuff on, but yeah. So you probably already know what they are, but strength basically affects your melee weapons. Intelligence will affect how much magic you have, allowing you to cast more spells. Willpower determines how much magic you regenerate and how much fatigue you have, so how quickly your stamina runs out. Agility affects the amount of damage you deal with daggers, short swords, and bows, which is awesome because this is a change. Originally, it was just bows, right? It also increases your fatigue a little bit, which is nice as well. And you regenerate fatigue faster with agility. So if you are finding that you need to regenerate more often, you'll want to level up agility. Right? Speed is how fast we move. Endurance is basically governs how much health we have and how quickly our health regenerates outside of combat. Personality is an important one for most classes if you want to maximize your gold. Personality will give you sometimes different options in conversations, and you'll also be able to get more gold when trading. All right, luck. There's a reason that it takes 4 points to level it up. All right, instead of 1 point like everything else. Here's how luck works. At 50, you're considered even on luck, right? No good luck, no bad luck. Below 50, you have bad luck. All right, and above 50, you have good luck. Luck governs all of your skills, not attributes. Remember, we're in attributes now. Skills, so armorer, alchemy, stealth, all of that, okay? Every single skill, luck governs that. So for every 10 points we put into luck, we gain +4 to all of our skills, all right? So you get a +4 behind the scenes to all of your skills for every 10 levels in luck. When luck hits level 100, you get 20 points to all of your skills. That's really awesome. All right, so luck governs a few other things in the game as well. Now, this next part I'm going to tell you is been debated. There's different posts about it. Some people say it does, and some people say it doesn't. But luck is supposed to also affect your loot. Now, it doesn't necessarily affect the quality of loot or whatever. That's affected by levels. But you can roll, when you go to get loot, right, you can roll good luck or bad luck rolls. So the higher your luck is, the more good luck rolls you have, meaning you're more likely to find something good rather than something negative. Another great thing it affects is eventually there's a gladiator ring where you can bet on gladiators. You can also compete yourself, but it doesn't affect when you're competing necessarily. But when you are betting on the gladiators, your gladiator will now have more health. He'll get extra health based on the amount of luck you have. All right, and so we mentioned luck increasing your skills by up to 20. It can also decrease them by 20. So if you hit 0 luck, your skills will all have a -20 to all of them. All right, so you don't really want your luck going below 50. All right, so another thing luck affects in the game is contracting diseases. Okay, you can contract diseases in this game. The higher your luck is, the less likely you are to get a disease. The last thing luck affects is traps. Some traps will just not get set off if your luck skill is high enough. So that's really nice. So the next part of character creation is at some point, after the emperor dies, you're going to be asked to pick a class. All right, so as you can see, there's different classes based on combat, magic, and stealth. That's cool and all, and maybe one will have exactly what you want. Well, because of the way leveling up works in this game and the way skills work, taking like Thief, for instance, has acrobatics. You don't need acrobatics as a major skill. It can be a minor skill. You can stand in one place and jump and jump and jump. and build it up that way. So there's no reason to have it in your major skill slot. Now keep in mind, the stuff in major skill slot builds up faster than stuff in minor. But if it's something that you can use all the time and level up, it should be a minor skill, not a major skill. So what I personally recommend doing is using a custom class. All right, you can just pick whatever, it doesn't matter. We'll say stealth for now. And then head over to attributes. All right, and then we can pick our 2 favorite attributes. All right, you should pick the ones that you get a +5 bonus to the initial attribute. Right, so this is where I would put 1 into luck, because +5, that's 20 levels. Okay, so luck. All right, and then pick probably, and then depending on what you want, endurance or personality are good. It's just a +5 bonus, so this, other than luck, it's not important which one you put it into. All right, but I recommend luck and willpower. That's just my taste, though. All right, so then when it comes to picking your major skills get 20 extra levels to add it to them for picking them, right? So they can give you a nice little advantage early game, especially if you're on a harder difficulty. But keep in mind, they also level up faster. So if it's something you're gonna be using all the time, you're gonna level them to 100 anyway. If it's something you don't use very often, or it's something you might need a little extra boost at the beginning of the game to really get an advantage, you'd want to take those as your major skills rather than taking your main abilities you're going to be using all the time. Because you're using, so I would recommend taking maybe 3 to 4 of your main combat abilities just to to give yourself that extra damage and stuff at the beginning, just to keep you alive. And then taking a couple of others, kind of like armorer, and if you come over to stealth, mercantile and security would be good ones, right? So as a stealth user, my character is going to be a thief, assassin type character. We'd want to take we'd want to take a light armor, marksman, and blade, right? Those are going to be my 3 major skills that I'm going to be using all the time that I need an advantage on. Light armor would be kind of hard to build up, so that's kind of why I'm taking it, because you have to get hit, which means you would die. All right, and then so armor I would take next, just to save myself some repair hammers and gold. And that one's not going to build up super fast either. So, and then I would probably pick something from the magic. All right, so alchemy is a good one to start with. You're going to be making potions, like I would be with stealth class, but you're not going to be making potions. Pick one of the other ones. Ultimately, your choices in here aren't that important. Everything can hit level 100. But sneak, you would think I would take sneak, right? Because I'm a stealth user. But I can, like I showed you earlier in this video, we can build sneak to 100 with no issues. So security though is a really good one because it allows me to lockpick a lot easier early on. All right, so here's how my stealth class would look, right? We'll take restoration, security, marksman, light armor, blade, armor, and alchemy. This is really a matter of preferences. Just keep in mind the important part here is that whatever is in your major skills levels up the easiest. So you want to put the stuff that's going to be the hardest for you to level in game. All right, so one thing to note as well, since we're going over leveling, is something you get at level 30. All right, until you hit level 30, a lot of the quest rewards aren't that great. At level 30 and beyond, your quest rewards get a lot better. So a lot of players that want to min-max won't even start doing a lot of the main quests until they've hit level 30. Those go around building up their skills until they're level 30. That's completely up to you how you want to do it. I mean, you can play through the game, no problem, right? And hit level, and just go through it naturally. And eventually, when you hit level 30, you'll get better items, and you can replace the items you have. But there may be specific items that you miss out on through the main storyline that you're going through. That would have been a lot better if you had been level 30. So just keep that in mind when you're making a decision on how to play the game. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Have an awesome day.